Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Will. I'm back with y'all here for the Fandom Frequency Show, episode 35. We got a pretty short episode today, but we do got some pretty cool topics to get into. That is for damn sure. So make sure you strap in, don't touch the dial, click all the buttons below the video and all that stuff. We got some cool stuff to get into. And as usual, we're going to kick this off with all the pop culture news with What's the Word? And for those that don't know, What's the Word is all about, where we get into all the different news, announcements, trailers, whatever, what have you, not like reviews or big time discussion topics or things like that, or like huge announcements like back when Marvel used to do like the whole film slate and stuff like that, or if they announced like the release date of the Daisy Ridley Ray Star Wars movie or something like that. That would be something we'll keep for main topic. But these are just some smaller news stories that were pretty interesting. And this one was one that I expected to see at some point sooner rather than later, but they finally got around to it. They're making the Beatles into a film. They're going to be doing Beatles biopics, and I gotta double check to make sure, but if I'm not mistaken, I'll check when I get into the post on this one. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a series of films, one individual film for each member of the Beatles. And for those that don't know, that includes from left to right on your screen there, the great John Lennon right there, the bassist, the guitarist slash one of the main writers, one of the main vocalists of the band. And then to the next one over is going to be Paul McCartney, the bassist and one of the main songwriters and vocalists of the group as well. Even though most of them did vocals, I think, other than Ringo, but Ringo might have at certain, I think he did sometimes, but not most of the time. And then you got George Harrison right there, the rhythm guitarist, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there. Don't hang me somewhere, Beatles fans, because I am a Beatles fan. And then you got Ringo on the drums, of course, and they're going to be doing individual films for each one of these guys. I'm not sure if they're all going to be directed by Sam Mendes or not. And he has stuff like American, what was it? American, man, what the hell was that movie he's all super popularly known for? I think he might have did a James Bond movie as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, the director Sam Mendes, he's doing this thing over at Apple. So you would assume it's a series if it's Apple, but I think in the article it said it was movies, which is kind of weird to me. There's no casting announcements for the Fab Four themselves, so we have no clues playing who. Are they going to get anyone to play, McCartney's ex-wife? Are they going to get people to play, Yoko Ono? All these different people, or even their manager that was so instrumental in getting them the success they had early on as well, and helping develop the look and the style that got them out there in the first place and made them more marketable for us Westerners over here when they were trying to break out of the UK and get into the States and get international the way they did. Now, of course, they never knew Beatlemania was going to become a thing, but their manager was a big part of it. So I really hope he's a very instrumental character in the film, and a very good actor is cast for him, and of course the Beatles themselves. But it's a really huge task to take on. I've always wanted to see it done because there are some interesting elements to the story of the Beatles. I wouldn't say they have the most tragic or compelling stories of any musicians out there, but I think just the amount of success and the creativity behind their music, I think, is something worth telling in a film. And I think there's a different angle you can take with just the more artistic kind of nature of them, and kind of the enigma of what made them such a fun core group of guys that were able to change music. And I don't think they ever had those lofty expectations of themselves. And I think just the dynamic of each phase of their career, through the tour years, through when they stopped touring completely, just putting out music and still getting all the success. I just think that kind of whole thing, you can't be successful in music and not tour these days. There's no way. There's no way to do it without shows and merch. There is no way. Even Taylor Swift and them, they're making a big amount of money off that. They have record sales and streams, but they can't rely on that alone because you don't sell records like we used to. Vinyl sells a lot, but that's only certain artists and certain things. That's not everybody. And only certain amounts of people buy vinyl still. That's not everybody. You know what I mean? Most people consume music by either getting the merch or going out of the way to go see it, or they're hardcore diehard fans and they'll buy it. But there's very few in between that are making the money like they used to. So I think that's a very instrumental thing that they can get into with this. There's a lot of business stuff with Apple Records and a lot of things that they did in their careers that I think are very interesting things to pull on. The tragic death of John Lennon, of course, and you got the tragic death of George Harrison. Although different, it's still the same thing. And the way that they accomplished so much in under 10 years, man. I think they've almost accomplished more than any other band in musical history. In under a decade, I'm saying, from the time of them having mainstream success. Not their whole entire careers or the time they made music, just as the form of the Beatles, from the first album, from the overall wide mainstream success. From the point they did it was 8 years. That's fucking crazy, man. So I think there's a lot of story to tell there. And if they do it right, whether it's a series of films or a film series in and of its own right, if it's done well, it could be something different, but do something new and add some nice layers and kind of bring it together Avengers style, but in a brand new format, does interest me in a weird way. As weird as that sounds, I think if they do it with the right approach, it could work in a sense and be not Avengers in a sense of you're making like this team up movie, but it's almost like that where you're kind of, I don't know. It's an interesting thing they're doing. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it sounds interesting. And there's also an Amy Winehouse biopic coming out. Not a lot of details on that one. It's coming out pretty soon here. I forgot the up and coming actress is gonna play her, but that's another one that's coming out. So if you're interested in that, I'm not a big Amy Winehouse fan, but it was something I saw over there on Pitchfork and a couple different sites when I was doing my research. So just figured I'd throw that in the mix as well. But as we get into the next thing here, we got the Superman Legacy cast, a big old selfie taken by Nathan Fillion, but posted on the James Gunn's profile. This is James Gunn. Apparently, he's just getting done doing a script read with the entire major cast of Superman Legacy. As you can see on your screen there, you got old David Cornsweet in the back, right next to Lex Luthor. Nicholas Hoult rocking the freaking bald head, so you know they're going to go classic with that. You got Isabella Merced and Rachel Brosnahan up in front there, both playing Hawkgirl and Lois Lane, respectively. Nathan Fillion coming in to play Green Lantern, aka Guy Gardner version. You got old Jimmy Olsen back there, played by that one actor that I think is perfect casting, but I forget his name. You got the one dude back there playing another character, I think Metamorpho or something like that. So you got some cool actors and actresses up in here. This is pretty much the main full cast of Super Legacy, and they're getting ready to get shooting real soon. So it's exciting news for sure. And there's a ton of pressure going into this film. A ton, dude. Because if they don't get this right out the gate, the DCU might be fucked from Jump Street. I have a lot of faith in James Gunn. He has not made a bad film to me yet in his career, personally. I don't think everything's been great, but I would say everything's been good to great. So he hasn't disappointed me yet. He is a little bit of an odd choice for Superman. I think he does understand what makes the character work and what the essence of the character is. I'm just a little worried about the zaniness and the darkness and the irreverentness of his humor. Is that going to work with Superman? Is he going to dial that down a lot? Is it truly going to feel like a James Gunn production without those elements as heavy in the film? I don't know. So I'm super intrigued. I really like a lot of the casting too. Some of these actors that you guys seen on screen there, I don't know them, so I'm not like judging them one way or the other. But the ones I know, I feel like are all very perfectly or very well cast for their parts and make sense to me. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with this film. I want DC to succeed. I want DC to be going and doing a whole new actual interconnected universe that makes sense and has some good movies in it and have their Elseworlds like Batman and Joker and some other cool shit and have their franchise going in full swing and then have the MCU get back to their prominence in the sense of at least just making quality content on a consistent basis and making stuff that we're all invested to go see again fully and all the time like we used to. I still love the MCU. I still am a fan of it, but it's not quite what it used to be, and my excitement is not where it was. So getting to see MCU and the DCU succeed, hopefully, is a future we're going to live in, and it's a big part of the puzzle right here is Superman Legacy and this cast and this crew and James Gunn and everyone being able to pull this off and get the right approach. And it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. I'm going to try to temper my expectations as a fan going in. I want to hear from y'all. What do you think about this cast? Do you think this is a big thing or not? Do you think them going with the classic Lex Luthor look with Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor is going to be the way to go? I think it is. I think it's going to be a way to harken back to the back in the day and give you that essence and give you that classic stuff that you want, but give you something fresh at the same time. James Gunn's usually one of the best casting and writers out there. So I'm just fingers crossed, man. I really hope they're able to pull this off. I'm rooting for y'all. Two of my favorite shows on the planet of all time, The Bear and The Boys. One on Amazon Prime, one on Hulu. Both incredible series that are definitely not safe for work and definitely not safe for your children. But I'm talking about The Boys, season 4 dropping in June. I'm forgetting the date. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me get some goddamn release dates in it. God damn. What's the release date? Hold on. I'm going to have to vamp. But yeah, man, The Boys season 4. I cannot fucking wait for this show. Getting to see how everything goes with Homelander potentially running for president or some crazy shit going on like that. Victoria Newman doing her thing and seeing what she's about to do in this next season is going to be is going to be so damn enthralling, and to see where the boys themselves are going to be at, and to see what the next step for them is going to be hella interesting, man. I just can't wait to see what's going to go down with that. We got what's his name? Oh man. Oh geez. Oh, what's his name? I like this actor a lot. What is wrong with me right now? But yeah, it's gonna have a June 13th premiere, man. June 13th, and they're gonna do 3 episodes like they usually do. I love that. I love how The Boys does that. Why doesn't every show release 3 episodes, 2 episodes at once? Why not? Why in the hell not? It's the best. I love it. It gets the season off with a swing and lets you know if you're gonna be in or not, pretty much every time. And every fucking time with The Boys, I'm all in, dude. Oh man. Okay, hold on, dude. I gotta get this guy's name. Who played Negan in the Jeffrey Dean Morgan? There you go. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's going to be in The Boys season 4, so I can't wait to see what he's going to be doing as well. Is he a soup? Is he more like, Billy Butcher, Carl Urban's character? I don't know, but we're going to see. June 13th, baby. June 13th, 2024. The Boys season 4. I love it. A lot of fours. The Bear season 3 is going to be coming a lot sooner rather than later. Apparently, according to the creators and everything, or the producers, it's going to be dropping in June as well. I'm sure they're going to be doing episodes weekly like they were before with with Hulu and FX. And I absolutely love The Bear. It is one of the best shows on television of all time, in my personal opinion, so far. It is one of my favorite shows I've ever watched. It's so well done. It's so creatively and perfectly crafted to fit what it's doing. It creates that anxiety and that tension and that pressure of being in the kitchen and trying to make something work and trying to achieve your dreams and doing it on a tight deadline and no one believing in what you're trying to do. Come on, man. I'm a musician and artist. That's my life. So I can totally relate to this in a whole different way. Ayo Edebiri, she's been amazing in this show. That's how I discovered her. And my boy, Jeremy Allen White from Shameless fame, represent. Love him coming up in this thing and doing it. And I hope to see him do even more after. And he's getting me interested to go watch Iron Claw. Man, I'm a wrestling guy, so I do need to check that out. But The Bear season 1 and 2 was incredible. Season 2, that Thanksgiving episode with Jamie Lee Curtis, Emmy award winning moment. John Bernthal coming back doing the God's work as Mike, the older brother of Carmi, aka Jeremy Allen White's character. I love this series. It's one of the best, funniest, most heartfelt, well done series. Congrats to Edmund Moss Barack on becoming the fucking thing. Ben Grimm over there in the MCU. So he's going to be doing some big things beyond season 4 of The Bear. So I'm excited for him. And just to see more of The Bear is what's most important here. So make sure you look out for reviews on that. I might actually commit and do those week to week because I love that show, man. I love that show. So look out for those reviews for The Boys and The Bear. Seasons 4 for The Boys and season 3, respectively, for The Bear, dropping this summer. We're going to definitely have those weekly reviews for those shows coming up. So the recap will be back once we start doing some weekly shows we actually give a shit about. We give a shit about around here. But yeah. So getting into the final topic for today, for a little bit of a shorter episode, we wanted to make sure to get this out for y'all, man. We're going to do a little bit of AEW recap. You know what I'm saying? Kind of the week that was in AEW, because I was able to check out all the shows, between Wednesday night Dynamite, Friday night Rampage, and AEW Collision over there on Saturday night. A good night to fight, you know what I mean? And we got a big pay-per-view coming up for all the AEW fans out there. Everybody knows Sting's last match, AEW Revolution, this coming Sunday, March 3rd, you know what I mean? 5 p.m. to like 8, 9 p.m., over here on the West Coast. If you're over here on the West Coast, West Side, and you know what the deal is. So we had some cool matches this week, man. And I'm not going to go into every single match on all the cards for every single show, but the ones I want to highlight and the storylines I want to highlight kind of through the weekly shows and then leading into the AEW preview is how I think we're going to do it this time around. So getting into kind of the matches leading into this week that I thought were really cool. I really love the FTR matches this week. I thought they were just superb. Obviously, it's FTR, so they always deliver great matches. But getting to see them go up against the BCC and then getting to see them go up against Shane Taylor Promotions on Saturday's Collision, I thought was well done. I thought it was a great way to kind of lean into some of the rivalries that have been going on between the BCC and Shane Taylor Promotions, STP. Hey, that's kind of cool. Stone Temple Pilots and shit. And what's going on with our boys FTR, a lot of acronym names going on, but this whole like three-way rivalry has been building up with just these really, really good wrestlers. So I've really been digging it. I thought the matches were hard hitting, very classic style, but still had that brutality and that new school edge to it. So I thought it was really good, really great promos, especially with the promo that FTR cut this past weekend on Collision right after their match when they were going to go up against, or not too long ago, when they went up against the BCC and they were going to have that confrontation backstage, which is setting up their big old match coming up this Sunday on AEW's Revolution. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. I've been really digging this classic style rivalry that feels like one of those old school wrestling programs where it's just a wrestling team versus a wrestling team, not too much gimmicks, not too much storyline, just we're better than you. I'm going to kick the shit out of you. And it's just good promo work. It reminds me of like a Macho Man Randy Savage versus a Hulk Hogan, or like a Steamboat Dragon, versus versus like Owen Hart or something. You know what I mean? It's just classic wrestling, not a lot of promo, not a lot of character, just getting straight to the point. So I kind of dig it. And another one I wanted to really highlight is the Young Bucks turning heel recently has really reinvigorated my interest in those guys. And I think it's been some of the best heel work in AEW as of recently. It's not better than the MJF stuff entirely. It's not better than everything that Christian Cage is doing. I do think it's rivaling those guys, though. I do think it is kind of going at that. I think it's almost better than the Collision Cowboys last year when they were full heel. It's been pretty entertaining. Really good matches, some good squash matches that are actually still very entertaining and fun to watch and playing into their character full on, but still having some good wrestling stuff going on. And then their whole rivalry they've been going on with Darby Allin and Sting has been much better than I anticipated. At first, I was like, why do they even care to challenge these dudes? What do they have to do with anything? And then with Darby Allin and Sting end up going up for the tag team championships, that's when I saw what they were doing. And I've really been digging it. And I like how they've been taking it and making it really personal with Sting's sons and all that stuff right after they won the belts. And I thought they handled that better than they did with Edge, aka Adam Copeland these days, when he won the TNT title for like 30 seconds and shit. I thought this was much better where they're still champions. They're holding on to the belts. They're going to defend it at AEW Revolution in a tornado-style tag match on Sting's last match for his retirement at the big pay-per-view, Greensboro, North Carolina. I love the way they're doing it. Like, this is the way you build up a program. And I like how the Young Bucks are leaning into this whole like douchebag EVP, we're better than you type of thing. Almost kind of like the McMahons and stuff when they would kind of team up with Vince McMahon back in the day. And I hate to go into somebody that's so damn controversial right now, but I'm just bringing this up for a case of example where where Stephanie and Shane would kind of play into it and they would be heels and they would be doing matches and promos and kind of pulling things and pulling strings. It kind of reminds me of that without having the familial element to it. And I really dig it, like the EVP trigger and the way they're kind of renaming some of these moves, changing their whole like style. And I like how Nick's like the big hothead and Matt's kind of the nice one, but he's like a smug asshole. It really works. And I think it's really been doing wonders to really reinvigorate their characters. I think they've been getting stale for like the last 2 to 3 years. I would say like 2019 or like 2021, the Young Bucks were so fun and energetic. There was great promos, great storylines and matches, tag team runs. But I felt like in 2022 to 2023, it started getting a little stale over the last year and a half. So I felt like after they kind of weren't able to go at the Golden Jets with Jericho and Kenny Omega, where that was really becoming a good rivalry, and it got cut short due to Kenny Omega having some really bad health concerns going on that have nothing to do with wrestling, that seemingly, and I don't think it's kayfabe either. So it does seem like they did have some heat going there, but then everything just kind of went off the rails with that. And this has done such a great job at kind of rekindling that flame and bringing in some new heat for the Young Bucks. And I can't wait to see who they're going to go up against next after Darby Allin and Sting, whether they win the tag team belts or not, and they beat them Sunday. I just can't wait to see what happens next, regardless if they win or lose. And that's a good place to be in for your storyline. So I think that the Young Bucks are doing some really great work on AEW right now. So I wanted to give them a shout out for sure. Really been digging that. Daniel Garcia, man, you got to do the dance. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to gyrate too much on camera and all that. Didn't want to get too awkward for you peoples. But yeah, Daniel Garcia has become one of the most fastest rising stars in wrestling today at the age of 25. This dude's killing it, and I think definitely should be up as the next TNT champ. He has a new rivalry that was kind of brewing up with Adam Copeland, but he's injured and on the shelf right now. Not sure if it's kayfabe or not. So he's going to be going up against Christian Cage this Sunday at AEW's Revolution for the TNT title. I think they should give it to him, and I think that'd be awesome. But I do have a sneaking suspicion that Christian Cage is going to come in with some bullshit, cheat in some way or another, and end up getting the belt back some way and retaining it. So I don't know. But I would love to see Daniel Garcia get some gold and do his thing. So I think it'd be pretty damn cool, man. I think it'd be pretty damn cool. What else we got to talk about here that I wanted to highlight? Oh yeah, Sammy Guevara's match with Jeff Hardy about a week or so ago. That was awesome. It was like a little over a week ago at the last Collision, not this past week. By the time you're seeing this video, but the week before. Oh man, that was a kick-ass match, dude. I love the match with him and Hardy, with him and Jeff Hardy on either Collision or Rampage, whichever one that was. I think it was Rampage, maybe, but it was really sick nonetheless. Really cool to get to see him as a fan of the Hardy Boys himself, is someone that's close to my same age and someone that kind of gets to go up against his own hero. I thought was really cool how he got the W and everything. So thought that was pretty tight. But his no DQ match with Powerhouse Hobbs, that shit was pretty intense, yo. Like, it was pretty well done. I got to give him a thumbs up on that one. So getting to see, and it's good to see that he's getting into a good program and a rivalry going on, with him and the Don Callis family. I think this whole program has been done really well so far, and I think they're doing a really good job of building up Sammy as a face. And when Jericho comes back from doing his thing on tour with Fozzy, I would really love to see them go against for some more tag team gold. As a what the hell's their name? Les Sex Gods. Yeah, there you go. I want to see Les Sex Gods going up for the belts once again. I hate the name, but I like the team. It's good stuff. So we'll see where they go with that. But yeah, the final thing here is the big old three-way triple threat match for the AEW heavyweight title this Sunday at AEW's Revolution between Samoa Joe, the current champion, and that guy's just a fucking beast in kayfabe and out of kayfabe. That is for damn sure. Going up against one of my absolute favorites in AEW, Swerve Strickland, whose house? And that's not it, man. He's going up against former champ Hangman Adam Page, baby, pulling up a noose and about to hang some fools. And hey, no racism shit. Y'all know what the deal is. I'm just pulling out stuff because he's Hangman. Calm down. Don't jump in the comments. but yeah, man. So we got this big triple threat match going up for the AEW title. It's gonna be fucking sick, man. I'm kind of conflicted right now because I feel like they should have Joe win because he's a dominant competitor in general. He had the Ring of Honor television title for so long. He essentially relinquished it. It became the longest reigning champ. He almost had it for so long it became stupid, so he had to relinquish it. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't want to see him lose his belt within one or two defenses. So I don't think he's going to lose per se, even though that one of them can pin the other person without him even being involved, and he could still lose the belt. I just think they're doing that to build up the suspense of the whole ordeal. I think one way or another, whether he cheats or just manhandles the fuck out of him in one way or another, I think he's going to come out as champ. But if I had to pick who I would like to see win, just in general, just because I want to see him become champion, Swerve Strickland, dude. I've quickly become such a huge fan of his over the last two and a half years. Like when he became tag team champ with Keith Lee, he really started getting a lot more of my interest and getting to see him really deliver in those big matches and some of the best tag team matches AEW has ever put on to this day. And I would say has been one of the best tag team champions in the whole league, in the whole company, and in the whole time for the last 5 years. And he just keeps continuously impressing me and getting better and better and better. And seeing his matches through the whole Continental Classic, I was rooting for him to go all the way, and I thought he was. And just, man, he's just so good. He's so acrobatic, but so able to like be a great striker and deliver on the kayfabe in and out of the ring. Always great on the mic. Very technically sound, but brings a nice, unique kind of high flying, a bit of like more MMA style to it a little bit. I like how he implements the kicks and the knees and the stomps and everything like that. He just brings a lot of unique creative energy, I feel like, to wrestling. And I think he's always flawlessly really great in the ring. So I think Swerve Strickland is one of the best wrestlers out there right now. One of the best ones of this new era. And bar none, one of the top 5 best competitors in AEW. So I can't wait till he becomes champion. I don't think it's going to be quite yet. I think he's going to win one of those other belts like the Continental Classic, International Championship, TNT, something before he gets this big AEW main title. But hopefully sooner rather than later it happens because I would love to see him do it at AEW Revolution. But I'm going to do my soft bet on Swerve Strickland. But if I had to bet real money and really had to put something out there, I would definitely put it on Samoa Joe because there's no way they're going to have him lose his belt that fast. But I want to hear from y'all, all you fellow wrestling fans and everything like that. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. If you think Samoa Joe is going to retain, or if Hangman's going to become two-time champ, or is Swerve Strickland going to finally rise to prominence and become the top guy and get that AEW title and get that gold, baby, and take it home to whose house? Swerve's house. So let me know what you think about that down below. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Pretty short and sweet. Kind of a long form show, short form, long form. I don't know what you want to call it, but I just wanted to get another episode just discussing some of these topics out there. I didn't get around to finishing Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. I'm about halfway there. So once I get a chance to finish that, I'm gonna have a review for that coming on the next installment of the Fandom Frequency Show next week, and we're also gonna have a spoiler discussion for Dune Part 2. I'm gonna have like a shorter review that might drop this weekend. I'll potentially see if I have time to squeeze that in, but I'm definitely gonna be checking out the rest of The Last Airbender, and I'm gonna be having that Dune spoiler 2 review next week on episode 36 of the Fandom Frequency Show. And we're going to be starting an X-Men review series, doing all 13 installments in the franchise starting this week with the original 2000s X-Men. Going to be putting a lot of time and energy into these edits, and just about every week or two and at least a few reviews every month just about are going to be hitting y'all over the next several months leading up to the release of July 26th, Deadpool and Wolverine, aka Deadpool 3. So look out for that X-Men review coming this week. A little bit of retrospective review style, doing something a little bit different. So I would love to get that feedback from y'all later this week. Let me know if you dig it. And we're going to have some music themed content coming next week and for the weeks to follow as well. So don't sleep on any of the dopeness we got going on here on the channel. We appreciate each and every one of you watchers that sticks with us to the very end, and anyone that supports the channel at all. Very much appreciate you taking time out of your day to come hang out with us and discuss all this nerdy stuff. So until we see you on the next one, make sure you stay safe out there, stay tuned, don't sleep, and much love. Peace.